Hey everyone, it's PTA Brian, and today we'll be talking about PNF patterns. So PNF stands for proprioception neuromuscular facilitation. So what PNF patterns are, they're functional diagonal patterns, and they basically increase range of motion, strength, stability, endurance, neurocontrol, coordination, and also restore function. So let's get right into the patterns. D1, lower extremity flexion. So hip is flexed, hip is externally rotated, and also your hip is adducting. Your knee is flexed, your ankle dorsiflexed, and your toes are in extension. D1, lower extremity extension. So basically, hip extended, hip internally rotated, and hip abducted. So now your knee is an extension, your ankle plantar flexed, and your toes flexed. So D1 flexion, D1 extension. D2 lower extremity flexion. So here, my hip is flexed. It's also internally rotated, and there is abduction in my hip. Then my knee is flexed, my ankle dorsiflexed, and my toes are in extension. So D2, lower extremity extension. So my hip is extended. It is also externally rotated, and I'm adducting. So now my knee is in extension, my ankle is plantar flexed, and my toes are flexed. So D2 flexion, D2 extension. D1 upper extremity flexion. So basically your shoulder is in flexion, your shoulder is externally rotated, and it is also adducted. Basically your elbows are flexed, my forearm is in supination, and my wrist is flexed and my fingers are flexed. D1 upper extremity extension. So basically my shoulders are extended, my shoulder internally rotates, and also my shoulder abducts. So, and then my elbow is an extension, my forearm pronates, and my wrist is in extension, and then my fingers are in extension as well. So D1 flexion, D1 extension. D2 upper extremity flexion. So here my shoulder is in flexion, it's externally rotated and abducted. And then my elbow is in extension, and then my forearm is in supination. My wrist is in extension, and my fingers are in extension. Remember, this is always the answer in the multiple choice questions, helping to improve posture. So now D2 upper extremity extension. So basically your shoulder is an extension, it's internally rotated and adducted. Your elbow is going to be in flexion, your forearm will pronate, so pronation, and then your wrist flexes and your fingers are also in flexion. So flexion and then D2 extension.